Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton speak to the nation. OU students worry about life under Trump and some surprise results for important state questions. This is OU Nightly.
To all Republicans and Democrats and independents across this nation, I say it is time for us to come together as one united people.
That was Donald J. Trump earlier this morning, accepting the will of the people that he become the next president of the United States. Good evening and welcome to OU Nightly.
As election night wore on, the results from battleground states slowed to a crawl. But early this morning, the Electoral College numbers finally broke through the 270 mark, and it was over. Once Trump clinched the victory, his family welcomed him to the stage as his New York gathering to deliver his first message as the president-elect. And he promised to deliver as the nation's leader. Meanwhile, the mood stood at Hillary Clinton's watch party went from confidence to concern to defeat. And while Clinton never addressed the crowd last night, today she offered congratulations to Trump and encouraged her disappointed supporters.
But I still believe in America, and I always will. And if you do, then we must accept this result and then look to the future.
Donald Trump's election stunned Americans who thought it could never happen. Today, the reality of his victory is sinking in, and it has sparked protests nationwide, including one on our own campus. OU Nightly's Lindsey tells us how the event empowered students to express their frustration in a positive way.
Every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring.
A song of strength in a time of fear. Students gathered on the South Oval, disheartened over Donald Trump's victory.
On campus, people have already started yelling racist things, telling people to go back to Africa.
They're dressed in black, a color they say represents power and strength.
There are people that don't want us here. There are people who don't believe in our humanity, and this is what this event is about. So we reaffirm our humanity and our purpose in our role in America.
Locking arms as a symbol of unity.
What do we want? Justice! When do we want it? Now!
Calling for justice as they march together.
Never have believed 3 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago that a rhetoric that was based on such divisive tactics and such hateful words could have ever resonated with enough people that this person would have been elected president, male or female.
But students say they have hope for a better tomorrow. Hope that our nation's racial divides will heal.
And may we always remember that Black lives matter, that Latino and Latina lives matter, that Indigenous lives matter, that Asian and Pacific Islander lives matter, that queer lives matter, that people with disabilities, their lives matter, that immigrant lives matter, that Muslim lives matter, and yes, and certainly that the lives of our women matter.
Lindsey Gomez, OU Nightly.
We'll be back with more national election news a little later in the newscast. But for now, we turn to Oklahoma election results.
Oklahoma voters made up their minds early that they would support Donald Trump. That left 7 state ballot questions as the focus on Election Day. And in one of the higher profile issues, voters soundly defeated State Question 779, the penny sales tax initiative. Nearly 60% of 1.5 million voters said no and pronounced they weren't willing to tax themselves more for the sake of Oklahoma's education.
I'm disappointed. I really hoped that we'd have a different result. There are some people that simply wanted to see a different way than the sales tax of funding education in Oklahoma. I don't think they understand we have to pay our teachers a competitive wage or we won't have any teachers. We can't be last in the nation what we spend per child. We can't have 4-day school weeks. It's not right.
For now, the average salary for Oklahoma teachers will remain 48th in the nation.
But good news for those teachers, now they can nurse their sorrows with a bottle of wine from the grocery store. Voters approved State Question 792, which modernizes Oklahoma state liquor laws, beginning October 1st, 2018. Grocery stores will be able to sell wine and strong beer. Supporters persuaded voters that 792 will create jobs and be more convenient for consumers. Liquor store owners say 792 will hurt their businesses.
Are they going to allow me to sell some food items so that if someone doesn't want to have to go stand in line at the grocery store or at Sam's, that they could stop here and buy convenience foods, a deli type food? They're going to allow me to sell that. So there are going to be people who don't want to go through the grocery store to get this. When you buy beer and wine at the grocery stores, you're not going to have someone there on staff to make recommendations to you, to help you with pairings, to carry out. I mean, we will see in the next 2 years what they do. And until then, I can't say for sure what I'm going to do.
New law will bankrupt some businesses, but she's optimistic about the future. Some details are yet to be worked out, including days of the week and hours of the days that the grocery stores will be open and allowed to sell wine and strong beer.
Oklahomans yesterday said no to State Question 777, with more than 60% voting against the corporate-backed initiative called The Right to Farm. The rejection surprised some, and 777 was created in the state legislature and heavily backed by Oklahoma's congressional delegation. But the opposition convinced voters that the proposal was a ruse that would benefit big corporations. Longtime Oklahoma journalist Dick Pryor says the result could be an indication of a changing demographic.
What I saw in the last several weeks was you saw more support for 777 in rural areas, but a lot less support in the urban areas.
Right.
Oklahoma's demographics are changing, and that may be an indication of where the state is heading.
777 opponents were led in part by former OU football coach Barry Switzer. And now the election is finally over. The peaceful transition of power has begun. OU Nightly's Erick Payne is here with the efforts underway to make that happen. Erick?
That's right, guys. President-elect Donald Trump must now fuse his campaign team with a transition team that's been independent from the campaign until now. Neither Trump nor his family members played an extensive role in the transition planning. But last week, 22 department heads submitted their transition plans to New Jersey Governor Chris Christie and Alabama Senator Jeff Sessions for approval. These departments have landing teams to parachute into agencies, get situated, and start executing Trump's 100-day plan. That transition plan was delivered to Trump Tower yesterday. President Obama spoke this morning at the White House on his plans for a smooth transition.
Now, it is no secret that the president-elect and I have some pretty significant differences. But remember, 8 years ago, President Bush and I had some pretty significant differences. But President Bush's team could not have been more professional or more gracious in making sure we had a smooth transition so that we could hit the ground running. And one thing you realize quickly in this job is that the presidency and the vice presidency is bigger than any of us. So I have instructed my team to follow the example that President Bush's team set 8 years ago and work as hard as we can to make sure that this is a successful transition for the president-elect.
And a key challenge to the president-elect in the coming weeks will be choosing his cabinet. The Trump transition team department heads have submitted lists of 3 names for cabinet positions. These positions are not set in stone, as Trump could override his team's suggestions. And Republicans across the board pulled off a political upset last night as GOP candidates down the ballot were able to keep control of the House and Senate. Many expected that Trump would be a drag on the GOP ticket, but that was shown to be the complete opposite. Republicans not only hold a majority of the House, but they appear to head into the 2018 midterms with a 60-seat supermajority that could prevent filibusters. And not everything last night was doom or gloom for Americans unhappy with the election results. Democrat Catherine Cortez Masto won Nevada to become the first Latina senator to fill Senator Harry Reid's seat, who will retire after 3 decades in the Senate. And another first, Oregon elected an openly LGBT governor, Kate Brown, who was the incumbent but running for the first time after she stepped into the position in 2012. And former refugee Ilhan Omar became America's first Somali-American Muslim woman lawmaker after she won big in the Minnesota House race. And Kamala Harris made history last night as the second black woman to be elected as California's new U.S. Senator in 24 years. Harris is the first black politician in state history to represent the state of California. Just as a reminder that not everything is some people expected last night, guys.
Great. Thank you so much, Erick. Well, last night's election means more of the same at the Oklahoma House of Representatives. 69 incumbent representatives ran for re-election, and only 1 incumbent lost.
And Republicans held on to all 5 of their congressional seats in landslide fashion. The closest race was for the 5th district, and even then, the Republicans had plenty of breathing room. Incumbent Republican Steve Russell received 57% of the vote, with his challenger only receiving 36%. But enough for political forecast right now. Jordan, what's going on outside?
That's right. We're currently looking at dry conditions outside. Temperatures aren't too bad at all. Not too much going on across the state. But coming up, we're talking about mild conditions for Thursday. Also, we could have some rain chances this weekend and maybe a pattern change. Could we see a cold blast? All the details coming up. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Jordan. Well, still ahead on OU Nightly, President Obama's thoughts for the American people and his successor.
Plus, an international perspective on election results.
Welcome back to OU Nightly. I'm Tori Johnson at the News Center desk. President Barack Obama and his supporters were less than thrilled with Donald Trump's presidential victory, but he urges concerned citizens to unite.
Everybody is sad when their side loses an election. But the day after, we have to remember that we're actually all on one team. This is an intramural scrimmage. We're not Democrats first, we're not Republicans first. We are Americans first. We're patriots first. We all want what's best for this country.
President Obama also promised Trump and America a smooth transition of power. And while half of American voters may not be happy with Trump's victory, Russian President Vladimir Putin is pleased. Hours after the official election results were released, Putin congratulated Trump. Putin also said he is ready to restore fully fledged relations with the U.S. And as you saw a minute ago, Wall Street welcomed Trump with a strong performance today. Some had predicted stocks would plunge on news of a Trump win. The U.S. dollar was up 0.6%. Observers believe Trump's call for unity reassured nervous investors. And California, Maine, Nevada, and Massachusetts said yes to recreational marijuana. And Joseph, medical marijuana is now legal in Arkansas, Florida, and North Dakota.
Thank you, Tori.
And still ahead on OU Nightly, Collin Kennedy is here and ready to crown the Whiner of the Week.
Plus, Jordan Overton will tell us if we can expect more sunny days.
Welcome back to OU Nightly. I'm Jordan Overton. We look at your weather. So right now, we've currently got not too much going on. Dry conditions. Most of our rain is off to the south. Not too much in Oklahoma. But is that going to stay that way? As we look towards the future, this is what we got going on. So we have a little kind of, what we call it is a cutoff low, basically. And what it's going to be happening here is this is going to kind of move off to our northeast. And what it's going to do is it's going to kind of hang out right around Oklahoma on Sunday and Monday in this weekend. And what that's going to do, that's just going to kind of set us up for a chance for maybe some showers on Sunday. Not going to be anything major, maybe just a few showers as we go through that. Now that's finally going to start to push off, and the dry and mild conditions return. And that'll come all the way into the middle of next week. But watch our system off to the west there. As we get to next week and late next week, so this is Thursday and Friday, it looks like we could see a cold blast. We could see temperatures that could potentially maybe get down into the 30s, somewhere around there. We'll see. It could be around freezing temperatures, especially for the north. Not too much going on there. And there's the temperatures right there, the cold air. Now we're going to kind of see what happens. It's possible this could actually verify, but this is way into next week. And so we're going to have to kind of wait and see. But until then, temperatures will remain mild and cooler than they have been. Now tonight, we're looking at basically not too much going on, but we'll have a kind of a cold front that comes through on Friday and Saturday. Now this is a dry cold front. It's not going to do too much except for cool off our temperatures for the game on Saturday. For the game on Saturday, we're looking at temperatures that are around maybe 60 degrees, which is going to feel really, really great for the evening. Now tonight we do have a frost advisory for mainly northeastern Oklahoma, a freeze warning for Washington County. There's those temperatures, so you can see they're getting really close to freezing levels. So we have frost advisory for that. Tomorrow is not going to be too bad at all. Temperatures will be inside the upper 60s. As we look at the extended forecast, Thursday, a few clouds and mild, and also sunny on Friday as we have that. And as we go to the weekend, it'll be cooler. for Saturday, 60 degrees. We'll kind of start to warm up. We're going to be inside the upper 60s, maybe a 70 here or there. But compared to what it has been, it's going to feel really good, and really no rain chances at all, unfortunately. So just a really slight chance on Sunday, and that's about it.
That'll be great for the game Saturday.
It'll be great for the game.
Especially for the second to last game, so it's going to be wonderful.
Thank you, Jordan.
And the Sooners take on the Baylor Bears this weekend. Collin?
Thanks, guys. OU is back in action Saturday, and they take on a struggling Baylor Bears squad, and the Thunder have a big-time interconference matchup with the Toronto Raptors. Sports is straight ahead. Welcome back. OU football looks to stay unbeaten in the Big 12 as they take on the Baylor Bears. The Sooners can extend the Bears' losing streak to 3 games in a row with a win this Saturday, and having running backs Joe Mixon and possibly Samaje Perine return certainly helps. This game has gone from just another on the schedule to a big-time rivalry.
It's a clash of the mindset that we want to win the Big 12, and they do too. I mean, it's just kind of the clash of they want to take it over, and so it gets physical, and that's the way big games happen. It starts up front, and in between the trenches, it gets physical.
And with Baker Mayfield's continued success, he has been added to another award watch list. Mayfield is a semifinalist for the Bursworth Trophy, an award that goes to the best player in college football that began his career as a walk-on. Mayfield certainly has the stats to back up his nomination, as he is second in pass efficiency and third in passing touchdowns. Last night, OU men's basketball tipped off their season with an exhibition game against Washburn. The Sooners struggled early but stepped up in the second half to secure an 84-64 victory. Sophomore guard Christian James led the charge, leading the team with 16 points, 8 rebounds, and 6 assists. Kadeem Lattin led the team on the defensive end as usual with 5 steals and 3 blocks. Next up is the season opener against Northwestern State. The Cleveland Cavaliers lost their first game of the season last night to the Atlanta Hawks. The Cavs tried to battle back, but the game was sealed after Kent Bazemore hit a 3 with 7 seconds left. Not only did the Hawks end the Cavs' undefeated streak, but they also ended the Cavs' streak of 11 straight victories over Atlanta. And the Thunder and the Raptors face off in an interconference battle. The game will feature 2 of the NBA's top guards, Russell Westbrook and DeMar DeRozan. DeRozan leads the league in points per game with an average of 33.7, and Westbrook has done it all this season as he averages 30.4 points, 9.9 assists, and 8.4 rebounds. Tip-off is at 7 in Chesapeake Energy Arena. And now it's the moment you've all been waiting for. It's time for our Whiner of the Week.
I think just bringing a Payne
Erick center Andrew Bogut.
Will be key for.
Critical time now for the Mavs. Their offense is ground to a halt. Bogut dies on the floor. They need something. Terry. Here's Greg Monroe and barrels into Bogut. Bogut went down.
Bogut called the NBA two-faced and claimed that everyone in the league is fake and shallow. Bogut also complained that it is very hard to meet a genuine person in the NBA.
Wow.
Well, Mr. Bogut, we have our bottle of wine for you. Hopefully it cheers you up and gets you through tonight's game against your old team and very talented team, the Golden State Warriors.
Talk about burning bridges. Oh my gosh.
It's easy to say that they're fake when you're on a team that's not as good as they were last year.
Yeah, they've been struggling this year. I think he's just a little upset he's not on that good team.
All right, well, thanks, Collin. And still to come on OU Nightly, we'll have another look at the 5-day forecast.
Plus, the internet cooks up some jokes about the future commander-in-chief. I'm Harlee Toothman at the OU Nightly Update Desk. The Democrats picked up another U.S. Senate seat late today. New Hampshire incumbent Republican Senator Kelly Ayotte has conceded. She announced that she has called Governor Maggie Hassan to congratulate her. In other news, the feds are sending $3.3 million to complete the drug abuse. The funds go to primary care centers so patients can be identified and treated earlier. Joseph, back to you.
Thanks, Harlee. Donald Trump celebrated his victory with cake, as most people do. But not everyone's cake is a life-size bus. That's right, this cake of Donald Trump was delivered to Trump Tower hours before he was declared the presidential-elect. And like they do, people took to social media to make fun of it. Many saying the bus looked like a very sad Donald Trump. Memes of the cake are taking over Twitter under the hashtag #TrumpCake.
Wow. You had to know there was going to be some backlash there. You did look very sad.
Why would you make that your celebratory presidential-elect I don't know. Okay.
Let's talk about the weather. How about
Yeah,
that?
let's
All right,
do that.
Let's look at the weather here. We got the forecast coming up. We've got Veterans Day on Friday. Plans for that. Conditions are looking great. Have a high around 69 degrees. Again, we have that backdoor cold front, which will cool things off for Saturday. Perfect conditions for the game. That system moves through on Sunday, which does give us a slight chance for showers and thunderstorms. But other than that, a slight return to 70s before a system comes in late next week.
Great. Well, thank you for watching OU Nightly, brought to you by the Gaylord College at the University of Oklahoma.
We'll see you back here tomorrow night live at 4:30.
Have a great evening.
Good night.